My name is Ryan Carter. I'm 27 years old, and until last year, my life followed the same exhausting routine every single day. Wake up before sunrise, work one job, then another, sleep for a few hours. Repeat. I wasn't chasing luxury. I wasn't saving for some dream vacation. I was trying to keep my father alive. 2 years earlier, he had undergone emergency heart surgery. The operation saved his life, but the medical bills nearly destroyed ours. Insurance helped, but not enough. After my mother's death, my father had spent most of his savings helping me finish college. When he got sick, there was nobody else. So I worked, and worked, and worked. By the time this story began, I had a full-time position as an operations manager at a logistics company and spent most nights driving rideshare to cover the remaining medical debt. I was exhausted all the time. The scary part? I had gotten used to it. The morning everything changed started like any other. It was almost 6 o'clock. I had just finished a long overnight shift driving passengers around San Diego. One more ride request appeared. Normally, I would have ignored it. I was already late. I still needed to change clothes before heading to the office, but $40 extra was $40 extra. So I accepted. The pickup location was outside a bar near the waterfront district. When I arrived, I immediately spotted my passenger. A young woman stood leaning against a planter box. She looked around 25, beautiful, expensively dressed, and completely drunk. Her heels dangled from one hand. Her makeup was slightly smeared. She looked like she could barely stand. For a moment, I considered canceling. Drunk passengers could be trouble. But before I could decide, she stumbled forward and nearly hit the ground. I sighed, then climbed out of the car. "Chloe?" I asked. She looked up slowly. "Maybe." That answer alone told me everything. I opened the rear door. "You need help getting in?" She nodded. I carefully steadied her elbow and guided her into the back seat. Once she was settled, I climbed behind the wheel and checked the app. No destination. Great. "Where am I taking you?" She stared blankly, then blinked. "I don't remember." I thought she was joking. She wasn't. For the next several minutes, I tried asking questions. Street name? Nothing. Neighborhood? Nothing. Phone number? Nothing. Family contact? Nothing. Her phone battery showed 1%. Then died. At first, I considered driving her to a hospital or a police station. But she wasn't sick. She wasn't injured. She was simply too drunk to remember where she lived. Eventually, I started asking simpler questions. "What do you see when you wake up?" "The ocean." "Near the beach?" She nodded. "Anything else?" "A gate." "What kind of gate?" "Big." Not exactly useful, but it was a start, so I drove and asked questions. Little by little, fragments emerged: palm trees, ocean views, a bridge nearby, a gated property, an expensive neighborhood. Almost an hour later, she suddenly sat up. "Here." I looked ahead. Massive iron gates stood beside the road, the kind rich people have when they don't want strangers visiting. The gate opened after she pressed the intercom. I drove inside, and immediately realized this place was worth more money than I would earn in several lifetimes. The house overlooked the ocean. The lawn looked perfect. Everything about it screamed wealth. I parked near the entrance, then helped Chloe walk toward the front door. Before we could knock, the door opened. A woman stood there, elegant, confident, beautiful in a way that demanded attention without asking for it. She looked around 45, maybe a little younger, sharp eyes, perfect posture, the kind of woman who seemed completely in control of everything. Her expression softened when she saw Chloe, then hardened slightly when she looked at me. "I'm her driver," I explained. She couldn't remember the address. I just wanted to make sure she got home safely. The woman took Chloe's arm. "Thank you." 2 words, nothing more, no conversation, no questions, no invitation, just a polite thank you. I nodded and headed back to my car. I never expected to see either of them again. Honestly, I forgot about them by lunchtime, at least until that afternoon. Around 2 o'clock, Every department manager received an email. Mandatory executive meeting. Attendance required. Apparently, our company had completed a major ownership transition. A new chairwoman and CEO would be introduced. Nobody knew much about her. Rumors filled the office all day. People speculated about layoffs, restructuring, budget cuts, corporate politics. I didn't care. I had deadlines. When the meeting started, I grabbed a seat in the